Okay, so here we are, just searching. We have to search for the Dirty Cow script using Searchploit. Then if we put this script to the desktop, when we need it, it's in an accessible location. The Dirty Cow script is outlined in the plan of attack for each server. Is a kernel exploit, as the kernels are outdated, and is used for privilege escalation. If we then do an mmap scan of server 6, we can see that it has a few ports open. One of them is port 3632, which runs the distcc daemon, which is vulnerable. So then, as you can see, there it is. So then if we go on Metasploit and search for distcc vulnerabilities, there is one that's relevant to us if we use this vulnerability. I set the R hosts and the R port, so R host .134 and then R port 3632. And then exploit, we can get a shell to server 6, and then if we use this Python command, which gives us an interactive shell and a better command line for better functionality, if we use whoami, we can see we're distccd, which isn't a root user. So we're going to want to use a Dirty Cow script to escalate privileges. So if we start a simple Python HTTP server as outlined in one of the tools in the report, we can just use this to send over the Dirty Cow script to the vulnerable machine. If we use the wget command on the vulnerable machine server 6, we can get the Dirty Cow script. There we are, just double checking that this kernel is the right version, is vulnerable to the script. So using the wget command, we can get the script over. And using the GCC compiler and the right command, we can compile the script. Make sure to give us privileges to run it. And if we run it, it should make use of the race privilege in the vulnerable kernel to give us a root user. Fortunately, we have to establish a new shell, which isn't a problem. Here we are. And then if we write out this Python command again and sudo into the account created, which is called Firefart, and then check the privileges with the ID command, we can see it's user group ID 0, it's root, so there's a full system compromise. Okay, and then going on to server 4, if we do an nmap scan for all ports in the port range 65535, we can see that there are a couple ports open. One in particular is a HTTP server on port 80. As you can see there, and on 8000 as well, running an Apache HTTP server. So if we go to this server, hasn't got its setup page set up. Good. And we're going to make use of the command injection vulnerability on this website. So if we start a netcat listener on port 4444, in our terminal, we can then type and exploit this command by pinging back to our netcat listener on the port to establish a reverse shell by using this command here, clicking submit. And if we go back to the netcat listener, we can see there's been a connection, which is the reverse shell established. We say who am I with www.data, which isn't a root user, using the Python command again just to get a more interactive shell, which makes the task easier. We already have our Python HTTP server still running, so if we just put the wget command to get the dirty cow script from that server, from our attacking host, and then we compile it again with the same command using GCC. Give ourselves privileges to run it, create a password, and we should have a new user. Fortunately, again, we have to close out of the shell. And if we go back in, we actually didn't know. We log in with the Firefox created user, check the privileges, and we are root again. So this server has been compromised as well. Going back to our Kali host, we can scan for server 8 on port range 65535 on 192.168.9.135, and then as we can see, this is also running a HTTP server on port 80. So if we go to this website, we can see it's a MoinWiki website, and this is vulnerable to the MoinWiki arbitrary code execution vulnerability. Creating an account on this, once we've done that, we can create a page whereby we will make use of the Twikydraw vulnerability where we can inject code. So after we've created an account, we can create a new page, and if we type in this little string of characters, it will allow us to run the exploit. Okay, going back to our Kali host and then using Metasploit, opening up Metasploit. And searching for Moin related exploits, the Moin Twikydraw exploit will come up. This is the one we're going to use. Active traversal file upload. And then just like the other ones, if we set the R host as server 8's IP, the R port as port 80, the username and password is the account we just created, and then the writable page will be the page whereby we can inject code, taking advantage of the Twikydraw vulnerability. Which the writable page will be the related to the account we just created. So then if we exploit, we get a shell. Again, for the final time, we'll just type the Python command to get an interactive shell. Clarifying who we are, www.data-data again. So changing directory to the temp folder so we can get the dirty cow script in there where we can run it, restarting the Python server so we can send it again using the wget command once more to get the dirty cow script, making sure we're in the right directory so we're able to do that. And then, just as in the other servers, we'll compile it using GCC, make sure we have privileges to run it, run the dirty cow exploit, set a password, and then log into the Firefox account created, and hopefully we'll have root. And again, this will be a compromised server, so a successful exploit of all 3 servers. Here we are, giving ourselves privileges. If we type out the command correctly, there we are. Running it. Setting the password. And then just logging into that new created user. Checking the privileges and user ID, group ID 0, group 0 with roots. Thank you very much.